Hello everyone, welcome to DocEngage. This is Jayashree. In this video, I'm going to train you about finance, where you can manage your complete revenue cycle like creating invoice, receiving the payments, adding wallet amounts, and refunds. So let me go into this invoice and show you how to create an invoice. Let us imagine that there is one patient in front of me and I want to create a invoice to this particular patient for the services which they have taken. So if I click on this add invoice page will open where I have to select the patient who is standing in front of me. Let us say there is a patient called Sanjana. If I type the name here, it is showing here that Sanjana is already registered with DocEngage. If this patient is not registered with DocEngage, we can register a new patient here directly by clicking on new patient. So the registration page will open. I can take the basic information and create invoice. So now that I have already registered a patient, let me go into this. Let me select this patient and then choose the care center. Why I need to choose the care center is because you may have multiple care centers. Now you have to select the care center which the patient has visited. So let us say the patient has visited this Columbia Whitefield. So I am selecting this Columbia Whitefield care center branch, and these are the services here which are there in this particular care center. I can even select the packages. If you are providing package appointment packages, then you can create invoice for these packages, or you can even create invoice for the products as well. So let me create an invoice for this consultation. So this is the invoice where I have to edit. So let me select a provider. Why I need to select a provider? Because if I, while creating a invoice, if I select a provider, then we'll have the track of which provider has given the service to this particular patient. So let us say Dr. Ankit has taken the consultation for this particular patient called Sanjana. So I have selected the provider name and what is the quantity. If the consultation has taken twice, then I can change the quantity to 2. Then here we have the price, if service price tax. If this service is inclusive of tax or exclusive of tax or non-taxable service, I can select any one of this option. Next, discount. Let us say I want to give this patient 10% discount. So I can select 10% discount. Or if I want to give flat 100 rupees discount for this particular patient, then I can select the override discount option here. If I click on this, I can give flat discount, say 100 rupees. I want to give 100 rupees discount for this patient called Sanjana. So I have given the discount price. Then tax, I can select the tax. So I'll select state GST 9% and central GST 9%. And then this is the total amount. And we even have this sold by option here. We can select a provider who has suggested this particular service plan to that patient. So let us say Dr. Prakash. So this particular invoice is generated by Dr. Prakash. So I have selected the provider called Dr. Prakash and save. So now this is the cost price 400 rupees and discount price which I have given is flat 100 rupees. So it is showing here, and plus tax is 54 rupees, and this is the bulk discount. If you want to give bulk discount for, let us say, for example, there is 10 services added in this invoice. So let us say I have added CO2 laser as well, and I have also added root implantation to this particular invoice. Then I can give a bulk discount for these 3 particular services. So I can directly give the discount here. I can even give discount in percent or in the override flat percent. Or let us say I want to give 100 rupees or 1000 rupees bulk discount. So I can give the bulk discount also. So now the final amount is 21,054 rupees. I then next I can receive payment directly from by create by clicking on this receive payment, or I can just save the invoice. So let me show you how to receive the payment directly first. If I click on receive payments, then invoice will be automatically added and the payment amount will show here in the payment amount field. Then I can select the mode of payment. So you people may be wondering how to add payment mode of payments and tax templates and discount templates. That part I have explained you in the end of this video, where you will have to do some configuration. So you can skip. If you want to do the configuration first, you can skip to the last part, or else you can continue watching the video from here itself. So mode of payment which I want to select now is cash, and save. Payment received successfully. See, this is the payment list page where I can see the complete invoice generated. This is the status. Now I have received the payment, that is why it is showing as completed. If the invoice is just created, payment is still pending means, then the invoice status will show as invoice. If the payment is done half or partially, then the status will be showed as partially paid. So this is the invoice list page. You can even use the filters for last 30 days. These are the invoices created for last 30 days. You can even filter it by the case center name, or by the provider name, which provider has created this invoice. So we can use the provider name filter as well. If you want to download these reports, you can download it just by clicking on the download button here. So the file will be downloaded, and you can even watch the purchased items as well in as a list page. You can see just now I have created one invoice with 3 services in it, and that is showing here in the purchased item list page. See, this is the item name: consultation, CO2 laser, or root implantation. These are the services which I have selected, and the case center name it is showing, and the cost price, discount applied. So all the details is showing here in the list page. So next is invoice upload. So if you already have a bulk Excel sheet of invoices already with you, then you can directly upload it to the DocEngage just by downloading this CSV file. If you click on this, you'll download one sample invoice file where you can modify complete data to the sample folder and upload it from just by clicking on this upload. And you can even monitor the invoice upload. If you go to the invoice upload monitor, you can see the uploaded data complete, what is the average time taken, bad data, and all repeated item, all the data will be shown here. So I hope you all understood how to create the invoice. Now let me show you how to receive the payments. If I go click on this payments, I'll go to this payment list page. Here I have add payment option. If I click on this, I need to select the patient name. Let us say there is a patient in front of me called Sanjana. Again, I want to receive the payment. Again, the same feature, you can register new patient if this patient is not registered with you. So this is the patient I'm selecting. Now I need to select the invoice which is pending. If I go to the select invoice, yeah, I can see the all the due invoices which payment is not received. So I want to receive this balance now. See, the payment amount is automatically taken, and it is showing case center name at which case center this invoice is generated. And also we have one option feature called split payments. So why we need to use split payment is like the patient is in front of you want to make a different mode of payments. For example, she wants to make a 500 rupees of cash payment and 100 rupees of online payment. So I can split the payments into two. If I click on this split payment, I can see one new section again added here where I can enter the payment amount and mode of payment as well. So let us say I want this pay, she wants to pay 500 rupees through cash and 100 rupees through GPay. So I have selected the mode of payments now. And here in the bottom section, you can see invoice amount is 600 rupees, opening balance is 600, and payment is completely 600. If I not enter this payment here, then the payment due amount will show as 100 rupees. So the due amount will show which I need to receive from the patient. So now let me receive this payment. Invoice payment added successfully. This is the list page where just now I have received the payment. As you can see, I have made the split payment from mode of payment is cash and Google Pay. So I can see the two payments here. So if you want to upload the payments, you can again same download the CSV file, modify the data and upload into the DocEngage. This is how you receive the payments. And next one is wallet. Let me show you how to add wallet amount. First of all, what is wallet amount? Like wallet, like as you have same feature like where you can add some amount into wallet in the Paytm. Same feature we are giving here, like you can receive some advance amount from the patient and add into their wallet and deduct the money from that wallet whenever the patient is taking the services. For example, let us say there is one patient registered with your care center, and that patient is taking service for one continuous 1 year. So in that case, I can receive some advance amount like 50,000. I want to receive advance amount, and whenever that patient is coming for consultation follow-ups and taking the services, I can deduct the money directly from their wallet so that they don't have to pay money every time when they come. So I'll receive wallet amount. If I click on this add a wallet amount, I'll go to this wallet form where I need to select the patient. Let us say I want to add wallet amount to this patient called Sanjana. I'll select the patient and I have to choose the care center, at which care center I want to register this wallet amount. So let us say I want this wallet amount to be added in Columbia Whitefield. I have selected this care center and wallet amount which want to add is 50,000, and I will select the mode of payment as cash. And save. Wallet amount has added successfully. This is the wallet amount added successfully, and you can see the wallet amount received and which case enter it is added, and the used amount you can see what is the refund amount, and available amount you can see all the data, and received by who has received the wallet amount from this particular patient called Sanjana. And if you want to edit, you can sorry, if you want to share the payments or you can share payments, send email, or you can print the wallet amount as well. And again we have the filters. You can use the filters and choose the provider and see what is the wallet amount received by this particular providers. You can use the filters to check the wallet amount details. So now next feature is refund. Next I'll show you how to do the refund. If I click on this refund, this is the refund list page where I can see the refunded amount. Before showing you this refund, I'll show you how to return the invoice. Let us say, for example, there is one patient who has already come to hospital, taken an appointment. For that appointment, we have already generated the invoice. But after a few minutes, the patient say that, like right now, I'm not interested to take this service. Please cancel my appointment and invoice. At that time, we need to cancel the invoice, right? So I'll show you how to cancel the invoice. If I go into this invoice, there is three dots here. If I click here, I can edit, return, and associate service plan. I can create appointment directly to this particular invoices, and also share or print as well. So here I have return invoice. Let us say this payment is already completed. I want to return this invoice because that patient is not interested to take the service right now. since we have already received the payment, we need to return this invoice. So available return quantity is 2, and let us say I want to return this service as well, and I need to enter the return quantity and price will be there already. And then reason for the return, like I need to enter the reason. Maybe the patient is not interested right now, so let us say no, patient is not interested. Sorry, patient is not interested now. And I need to enter the credit amount as well. Since I have already received this payment, I need to enter return the amount as well. So I'll add the credit amount as well. That is 21,072 rupees. As you can see, this is the total amount which I need to refund. I'm adding that amount here and returning the invoice. So I have returned the invoice successfully. Now I have returned the invoice and I need to do the refund now. If I go to refund, here as you can see, we have the refund payment button here. If I click on this and select the patient Sanjana, Sanjana. Okay, this patient has a due amount of 200 rupees. That due amount I'll clear and then refund the amount which is returned. So let me select the invoice for the patient called Sanjana. I'm making the mode of payment is 200 and now invoice is received payment. Let me refund now. I'm selecting the case center which is Columbia Whitefield. Just now I have created the invoice in that particular case center. So I will select that case center and what is the amount that I want to refund. Since you have returned the invoice which is already payment is already received, if you return a invoice, that particular amount which you have returned will get directly added to the patient wallet. So as you can see, there is some amount in the patient's wallet. You can select whatever the amount you want to refund. Let us say I want to refund 1 lakh rupees settlement against wallet. I am selecting the mode of payment as settlement against wallet because I am doing this refund based against the wallet. Refund is done successfully. See, here you can see the payment reference ID, refund amount, and what is the mode of refund I can see, and who is the a provider who has received this. So I can even share this payment, print refund payment. I can do all the or cancel refund payment as well. If I click on this, this payment refund will be cancelled. Next, online transactions. Online transaction is if you have done any online payment integration, then the payments which are received by the online, for example, Razor Pay, if the any payment is received online through Razor Pay, if you have done the integration with the Razor Pay, then that particular invoice payment details will show here in the online transaction list page. You can download the complete data by clicking on this download button as well. So since I have not done any integration configuration with any online transaction websites, so it is not showing here in the list page. Next one is configuration. As I had told you that you need to do some configuration like adding templates for discount tax and adding the mode of payments that I will show you now in the configuration. If I go into this configuration, here you can see finance configuration and this is billing records edit. If I enable this feature, then You can edit the invoice payments only till 7 days. If I give for 30 days, you can edit only for 1 month, that for the 30 days. Allow backdated payments. Next feature is, if you enable this feature, then you can even receive the payments for the backdated. For example, let us say that you have received the payment last week only, but you have not generated a uh, invoice, and you have not received the payment in the doc engagement. If you enable this feature, you can even create a invoice, or you can even create payments for the backdated. And same, if you enable this feature, you can create a invoice for the backdated payments or invoices. You can, if you enable these two features, you can create the invoices for backdates and receive payments for backdated. Override cost price in billing means you can if you enable this feature, you can override cost price. What is for a for example, consultation service. Just now I have created one invoice which was 200 rupees for the consultation. If you enable this feature, you can change the cost price of that service. You can change it to like 150, like that. You can change the cost price in the bill while creating the invoice, and is override price more than base price. So if you enable this feature, you can change the cost price of the particular service more than the MRP. For just now I told consultation is 200 rupees. You can add, if you enable this feature, you can make it 300 rupees as well. Like you can create a invoice more than the MRP. Then quick add service or product. If you enable this, then you can quickly add the products or services. Display sold by, just now I told, like sold by feature was there in the invoice. Who has generated this particular invoice? If you enable this feature, you will know that who has suggested this plan service to patient, or who has generated this invoice. So so that if you want to appreciate that person in further future, you can use this sold by, or to keep a track who has generated this much revenue to your hospital. Next, invoice edit after payment. If you enable this feature, you can edit the invoice even after payment is done. If you disable this feature, you cannot edit the invoice once the payment is done. So next one is invoice print settings. You can configure your printing invoice print page based on your requirement by just enabling or disabling this. Is, for example, you don't want to print this particular barcode, you can disable this. Or you don't want to show organization details, you can hide the organization details. So next one is tax templates. Just now I have showed you how to give the tax in the while creating the invoice. For that, you need to add the tax templates for it to reflect in the invoice section. So for example, tax name is state GST. State GST. I'm selecting state GST, and is it a GST sales tax or service tax? You can select that, and enter the price tax price rate, like if it is 12%, you can enter 12% and save. Then this particular tax template will be added in here in the list page, and you can edit this or hide. If you hide this, then this particular uh, if you hide this particular tax template will not show in the invoice. Next is discount template. Same as I told you, you can create a discount template by giving what is the discount template name. For example, let us say Diwali is nearby, so let us say Diwali discount. What is the, if you want to give description, enter the description. What is the discount rate you want to give? Let us say I want to give 30% discount. Save. Just give. Or you want to give flat, you can give flat 300 and save. So like this, you can add the discount templates. Next is Payment mode templates. Just now, while receiving the payments, I showed a mode of payment was cash, Google Pay, card. So I can write the mode of payments here. I have already added card, cash, Google Pay, Phone Pay. Or you want to add any new mode of payments, you can add the name. And if you have any vendor charges, enter vendor charges and save. This payment mode template will be created and it will show in the payment sections while receiving the payments. Next, payment gateway. In the payment gateway, you can configure your online payment, for example, Razor Pay, Paytms, all these things you can integrate here. Next, notifier configuration. Here, notify patient when they pay for invoice. If I enable this send by email and send by SMS, then whenever a patient is done with their payments, then they'll get the email and SMS notification. Next, notify patient for wallet advance. If I enable this too, it will notify the patient when they add a wallet amount by sending a email and SMS. After let me enable these two and update. So now notification configuration is updated. Next, upload configuration. If you want to do upload configuration, like if you can enable this features by you can even read the instructions and update. I hope you all understood. Thank you. See you in the next video.